All right, let's see if it's working this time. Because first time I tried streaming today, it just totally failed. All right, it looks like it's working. Hooray. How exciting. All right, sorry for the rough start today. All right, I think it's finally ready to go. Jeez. And just nothing but technical issues today. I say that every time. Every time it's technical issues. I don't have an answer. Just give me a hard time. I don't know. All right, here we go. All righty. So I have a new mic today, and we'll see. I did some recording tests, and I think it's better, but I can't test for the whole duration of a stream until I actually stream. So we'll see. Let's see if it's better. Hey, Woofer. Sounds pretty good. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate the input. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's hey, yeah, it's this little lav mic that I bought. So I don't have to yell to make sure that the mic hears me, but I do have to be careful not to take it into the bathroom with me on bathroom breaks. So, you know, advantages and disadvantages. Also, I'm worried about like how it might sound rustling as I move around. It may be good, it may not. We'll see. How you doing, Woofer? It's been a while. It's good to see you. Doing all right. Had a rough weekend. Oh, sorry to hear that. You are welcome to talk about it if you'd like. However, you're also welcome to completely ignore it and we can just talk about BS stuff. So, more than welcome to talk about it. But if not, that's cool too. I am going to talk about other things in the meantime because there's the lovely delay of everything. Yeah, so I'm just going to be working on this painting today. I mean, hopefully I get it finished today. I don't know if I will, but I'll get it close because it's already getting close. This isn't going to be a very tight, clean painting. I had a migraine on Friday, then yard work, then fireworks, kept me up throughout the night. Oh, that sucks. Migraines are awful. I didn't realize how bad migraines were, you know, until I had them. Yeah. Yeah. Just want to like, curl up in a dark, quiet room. So I feel you on that. Fireworks. I had in my bedroom. It was way too bright. Otherwise, yeah. No, I feel that. I absolutely feel that. So yeah, I don't get technically my migraines aren't technically migraines, but they're like because a technical migraine is different, but it same feels this very much the same. The Wall Hindu Festival of Lights. They had them going off till 2 a.m. or later. Oh, I mean that sounds like a ton of fun under other circumstances. Yeah. Well, hopefully your week goes better. You know, fingers crossed. I guess the upside is sometimes you know it like the chances of it not going better get slimmer the worse it gets. So you know that kind of like it's only up from here. Although realistically it's not, but usually it is. 4 day weeks till the new year. Wait, 4 day weeks till the new year. That's a plus. Oh, that's awesome. I don't have that, unfortunately. I've got full weeks to the. Well, some of them are less, but yeah, regular weeks till the holidays, till the new year. So this is one of those features of oil paint that sometimes drives me crazy. Is that I can put down paint and it feels like it's not doing anything. And I've I think I've narrowed it down to being one of two things or both, which is one, my color is just way too close to the original, but usually more so the case, I don't have enough paint out on my mixing area and on my brush. Because that was happening here. I was putting down paint and it's like nothing changed. But if I get more paint, everything is solved. I know that sounds like an obvious thing, but it's not, because when mixing on glass, sometimes you can thin down your paint so thin that it doesn't do anything, but you can still see it on the glass. And suddenly it's too much paint. That can happen too. That absolutely can happen too. Too much paint is also an issue. But too much paint, I feel like, I don't know if it's easier to deal with, but at least it's more evident and you can just wipe it off right away. So, Woofer, I know we've played video games together before, but I don't remember, and you don't have to answer, give out personal information, but um, are you big into computers? I ask everybody now because I'm trying to build a new computer and I'm trying to figure out what I need. And everything's become very confusing. I feel like it used to be simpler because I feel like the generations haven't gotten much better. You've built several computers? Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I want to upgrade or build a complete new system. Building them is the easy part. It's figuring out what to buy that I'm struggling with. But yeah, because it feels like the different generations are making less and less leaps forward. So I don't know. You'd have to know what you're starting with and what you want out of it. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, but if you don't want to talk about it right now, by all means. But yeah, I have a what is it? I have an old system, but I did upgrade the CPU not that long ago, and it didn't do much. Um, but it's the Ryzen what is it? Ryzen 9 5900. Slide into your DMs. I'll do that. That's a better idea. But yeah, the funny thing, this is funny though. I put this out there because I think people will get a laugh out of this. I'm rocking the GTX 970. uh, what's it called? The GPU upgrade is definitely on the list because that one's just yeah. That was That'll be the limiter. Yeah, I looked it up today. It was released. It was released in 2014. Yeah, RAM and storage. Yeah, I'll slide into your DMs. I appreciate the offer. That'll be helpful because I don't know all these people on online. Like when you go and ask Reddit, some people have the most skewed perspective on things. So you never know. Yeah, it's all complicated. But yeah, I'll do that. Appreciate the offer. Or I appreciate you letting me push you into it, I guess. Feel free to say no, to decline. But yeah. So realistically, this brush is not the best for like super fine detail. but I think it'll actually be good enough for most of this painting because I don't want to do full uh like I want to imply their faces, but I don't need to do all the little details of their face for a few reasons. One, the photo I'm working off of is horrible and I can barely see their face. Um that's a big factor. Other other factor is that this is working off of a found photography, and I still haven't decided how I want to handle likeness in found photography. Um, right now, I'm leaning towards like vague likeness at most, which would disqualify like straight up portraiture, and that's why I'm kind of on the fence about it because I got a few found photographs and that are like close up portraits, and I really like those, and I kind of want to paint those, but if I'm staying away from actual likeness, I won't be able to. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like I wonder what people think the you know, ethical thing to do is, behind that. In case anyone doesn't know, found photography or found photographs are what the name implies, photos that were found somewhere. Usually it's old photos that are found in, um, storage units that are abandoned, or houses that were abandoned, or the owners died, or switched hands a bunch recently or whatever. And so you have these photographs that no one knows who they belong to and who the owners are. And a lot of them are very old, so you're like, pretty sure that most of the people either in them or that own them are dead at this point. Some aren't, some are newer. It kind of depends. I'd probably uh I'd probably roll likeness, no extreme details. Yeah. That's where what I'm thinking overall, but like I said, on some of the portraits, I want to get that, their face, because it's a portrait. So I'm still, I'm trying to figure it out. Like maybe I can edit it enough so that it's, close, but not, too close kind of thing. I don't know. Like I said, these photos are all old. All these photos are going to be, for legal reasons, all these photos are going to be from like the 70s and back. Nothing earlier than that. Because, and the reason for that is the way copyright is about more recent. No, nothing more recent than the 70s. Everything is old. 70s or older. If I didn't explain that well, yeah, everything's 70s or older. Nothing more recent than that. And the reason for that is what's it called? Is because of the copyright on photographs. Um, yeah, they anything basically anything taken before 76, I think it um, is in the public domain unless unless they kept the unless they like refreshed the copyright. And given that these are found photographs, I'm assuming that they didn't refresh the copyright on them. So yeah. But still, that's just the legal thing. I'm also trying to be, I'm also trying to like adhere to my personal, morals and ethics. Um, so doing like a fine, detailed portrait feels a little weird. So, so yeah, I don't know. I think it might just vary depending on the photo too. Like if it's a very old photo, if it's from the 1800s, I feel a little more comfortable doing it than I do from the 70s. So I think I think there's some play there that's not, you know, it's not black and white. We'll put it that way. Although most of the photos actually are black and white. The subject isn't black and white. Oh, also, I think it also depends on. I think there's actually a few other factors too. Like, there's also factors of like, you know, children versus adults, location. Also, I mean, if someone took a photo in public, it starts feeling a little public's public kind of thing. So yeah, it's not black and white. I feel like, I can be in the right legally and still want to be careful about it from my own personal like feelings on the subject. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's something that I find frustrating with you know, I guess people online and stuff. There are a bunch of people who are just like, as long as I can't get in trouble with the law, I don't care. And they do anything they can, kind of thing. So, 'oh shoot, I just realized something. I need to check something real quick. I'm still here. I just need to step out of frame because I can't click on things when I'm in frame. My computer's too far from me. I just want to make sure that my stream, because I had to reconnect. I just wanted to make sure it's still working. The link to it is still working. Yeah, I had to restart my whole system. Um, so okay, the link still works. Just making sure. By the way, Wolfer, are you still on Twitter? Or are you on Twitter at all? I don't remember if you are or not. I know a lot of people abandoned it, and I understandably so. I kind of want to abandon it too. You rarely poke your head in there. That's fair. It's usually not worth poking your head into. Lots of is it? You said lots of discords and Reddits, or do you mean lots of discords and Reddits? Like you go through a lot of them. Lots. I figured. Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I'll be honest. If it wasn't for some connections that I've made on Twitter and I'm maintaining through Twitter, yeah, I would be gone. I already have a blue what is it, Blue Sky account, but no one's on there. You're in like 80-ish discords. Yeah. Yeah, I am in a lot of discords and I fail at keeping up with almost all of them. I am absolutely horrendous at that. Like if people tag me or message me, I'm great. I'll get back to them. But just like trying to keep up, read a channel, keep up with what's going on. Oh my god, no, not at all. I am horrible at that. Like I before Discord, I tried to be a part of like all kinds of websites, like forum websites and stuff like that. And even when I was unemployed and had nothing but time, I could not keep up with it. I just lack, I think I just lack the ability. Mostly the discords I'm a part of that I'm the most active in are the ones that I do voice chats and the group hangouts in. Those are the ones I'm the most active in. Yeah, I have a few that I'm active in. Some I just like to see if people are doing something cool. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, that is something I would want. Uh, you think you're going to lurk for a bit? Hey, no problem. Absolutely. Um, yeah, I think that's something that I would actually like an AI bot for. Like, there was an AI bot that could help me keep up on everything happening in like all my discords or all my groups or something. That would be amazing. I've yet like there are speech to text or text to speech things, but they're not great, and they don't do a great job on things like Discord and so on. They weren't built for that, so they, you know, Discord has something native, but it's super clunky. But anyways, getting back to the painting a bit. Not that I stopped painting, but I guess talking about the painting. Um, what's it called? Yeah. Sorry, my brain's. I'm tired. It's been a long day already. But yeah, talking about the painting. One of the challenges with this is trying to give it color, but not make it look monochrome or too. And obviously, it has blue in it, so it's already not monochrome, but it's feeling very, very yellow, and that works to a degree. Um, but I do want to don't want it to be like fully yellow, and I don't want them to look like The Simpsons. So I'm kind of you know aware of that, and I'm trying to add some colors, some subtle, but add some colors and some other tones in. Like I said, obviously it has blue already in the painting, but it's just in like one place. I mean, part of the issue is this is all from the colors are all made up. So, I mean, theoretically, she could be wearing a blue bathing suit. I don't know. There's no way for me to know. Hey, Don Lee, you want it to you want it unified without looking like a sepia photo or something? Exactly. Exactly. Well, and also these streaks right here, these are light leaks. So there's some like effects happening, and because of that, it's it's kind of seeping into everything else. But like I said, like you said, yeah, I don't want it to look like sepia, and it's off of a black and white photo. That's, by the way, this big. The whole photo is this big. Um, Actually, I take it back. It's this big because it's actually a landscape photo. So I'm like losing a ton of information because it's an old photo, old camera, you know, small redone, all of that. So there's a lot of like, you know, there's a lot being filled in here. Also, hello. Yes, hello. Don Lee is a streamer friend, by the way. You can find him on Twitch, streaming under the name Don Leo, just like his username in YouTube. Oh, I guess I should also mention he streams art, digital art, does all kinds of fun stuff there. Hey, Don Lee. now you're in Twitch chat too. Yeah, this is the part of the painting that starts to really slow down a lot because it's a bunch of little decisions and it's very slow. I always wonder how, whether or not I should stream this part of a painting because of you know, does it make for good content? But at the same time, I was planning on streaming today and I don't actually have another painting to start working on, so it's going to be this. Also, I want to finish it. I have a few paintings that I put aside and I haven't finished them yet. And I'm probably not going to finish them on stream, but I really need to get to them and finish them. I will say I do think there is a bit of a benefit for beginner artists to see just how like slow the process can be. Because I feel like what's it called? I definitely feel like all the social media stuff makes it feel like everything's done so much faster than it really is. All those time lapse videos are not a good representation of real artwork. I wish I could paint at the speed I paint on time lapses. That would be so amazing. Honestly, like I know there are way more powerful superpowers out there, but if I had to pick a superpower, that might be it. Being able to paint at my time lapse speed. Oh my god. For an artist, I feel like that would be a dream. But if I couldn't pick that for a superpower for some reason, I think I would want, you know, forget flying and vulnerability, all that stuff. And it sounds great in a superhero world, but in like our world, there's that guy, Multiple Man, who can multiply himself. Yeah, that please. Because I have an endless, to-do list. That would just be so good to be able to like make as many of me as I need to do all the things I need to do. What would your superpower be if you could pick one for our world, not superhero world, whatever, like our world? What would it be? I'm curious. Don Lee says multiple man. There's a version of that type of character where they get progressively dumber the more the characters split. There's also one where he gets progressively more insane. Um, yeah, yeah, that does happen too. It's not a perfect power, you know, but there's also versions. There's also versions where they also replicate their clothes and anything they're holding. Which sounds to me like an infinite money glitch. It just kind of depends, you know. There's variants out there. A lot of that comes from them just not wanting to like make the character, make the duplicate appear nude. And then because they didn't want to make the duplicate appear nude, they gave him the costume. And then because they gave him the costume, it just spirals out of control, kind of thing. But yeah. If I remember correctly, his name's Madrox in the X-Men, that guy, Multiple Man. But there's other versions of that superpower. If not that one, I think maybe like what, teleportation? Oh, teleportation would be awesome. But like over long distances, not like Knight Rider, not Nightcrawler's teleportation, where he can only teleport to like what he can see, because like that's lame. And for the record, lame in our world, not in like the comics. Comics are a different story, literally. When I was a kid, I did enjoy doing all those. Oh, what's it called? You know, debating like what comic book character was could beat who and so on. Like that was always fun as a kid to do. I don't know. Did you guys ever do that as kids or adults? Oh, by the way, I should ask Don Lee this too. How's the sound today, man? Sound is good? Awesome. Is it noticeably better or different or not at all? But good anyways. I asked because wait, where's the camera? I bought a lav mic and I'm using it for the first time. I think I might keep it, even if it doesn't sound a lot better, just because I feel like I don't have to project my voice as much, which I don't mind doing that for a short time, but 4 hours I think might be. I think trying to project my voice for 4 hours might be what's been, one of the things that's been kind of wearing me out on my live streams. Although maybe I should just keep doing that to, strengthen my voice. I don't know. We're pretty sure you noticed an improvement. It's very easy to hear you. Good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's doing a better job of picking up my voice and a better job of not picking up other things. So we'll see. We'll see how bad it is when Dresden tries to eat it while I'm trying to say hi, and show him to everyone. ASMR Catvor. Oh, that's cursed. Oh, I moved my drink over here. I mean, for me, comparing tonight's VOD to prior VODs will give the best assessment. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And I did do some recordings today to like try and assess and adjust, which I was glad I did because I actually lowered the I lowered the sensitivity of the mic and it actually sounds better. So yes, doing an analysis after the fact will be the best. But I was pretty. If this ends up being the way I go, I'm pretty happy with it because I got a pretty. I found a what's it called, a lav mic that has a lot of the like features I need at a pretty decent price. You think it could be tweaked a little? It actually sounds like you're a little too close to the mic, but overall, it's really good. All right, that's fair. Absolutely, it could be tweaked. It's tough. It'll be a process of getting it better over time for sure. But I appreciate the input. It's always helpful. It's always appreciated. Oh, Donley, you'll appreciate this. Woofer, you probably appreciate this too, and anybody else. who's into art. So I made this post on Twitter dunking, not dunking on, but it's sarcasm towards AI art. So someone tried to make an AI version of the painting I posted, and it's a painting of a Death what is it, Death Eater by Frank Frazetta, and it's one of those things where it's like, you know, Frank Frazetta's just a legend. Like there's almost no artists who are there's very not no, but there are very few artists who are as good as Frank Frazetta. You know, anyways, like there's so few. Then to like be like, oh look, I can do it in AI, and it's just like, oh, you're not even close, man. Not even close. Someone also misunderstood my tweet and thought I was being serious. So they're like, oh, or you could give it to pay an artist to do it and get something close to it. I'm like, no, you can't. There's only one Frank Frazetta. You can't hire an artist to do this. He's gone. That time's up on that one. In my feed, yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, I'm actually really happy because I got to introduce a ton of people who weren't familiar with Frank Frazetta's work. I got to introduce them to it. Um, it's weird. I'm actually like jealous of them because they get to experience, they get to discover Frank Frazetta for the first time. And I can enjoy Frank Frazetta, but I'm never going to experience like discovering his work again kind of thing. Um, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. But it's cool. I really like being able to introduce people, to his art. I think that's really cool. I honestly thought more people would be familiar with him, but I guess time marches on for everybody. You saw this posted on my feed. Let's see what this is. Oh yeah, someone other people are starting to copy the same concept of doing a simple sketch and then a famous painting next to it. Yeah, I think that's really funny. I love it. I hope more people copy the format and do it. I think it's great. Hey, look at that. Twitch actually tells me when it's being auto modded. I'm sorry, Don Lee. I know. I know YouTube's bad at that. I don't know what to tell you. This time I'm on the side of the auto mod. Now the issue is that on YouTube, because I'm streaming on YouTube right now as well, the mod situation on YouTube, the auto mod situation on YouTube is um not very good. Like it doesn't tell you when it auto mods, it doesn't tell you that someone tried to post the link. Like it's really aggressive and silent about it. But the flip side to that is right now I'm streaming on YouTube at 1440p. So, there is a bit of give and take there. I don't think that the quality, like, I don't think that the quality of the video is that important all the time in streams. But, in an art stream, I kind of feel like it is. Especially when I'm like working on the little details and stuff. If people want to, zoom in to see a little closer, some people can pinch to zoom on the YouTube app. Plus, plus the YouTube app, the Android one at least, is like miles ahead of the Twitch one. But the chat is so much better on Twitch. Hmm. Since I know there are streamers that get higher resolution, I wonder if there is a way to have Twitch recess your connection or something. Um, not sure what you mean. Twitch only, yeah, their limit is 1080p right now. And does someone so you get higher resolution? Yeah, no, they don't. Um, on what's it called? Nope, I saw a streamer at 4K on Twitch. I didn't think that was possible. Maybe the like was it a big streamer? Maybe they have exceptions for like the top streamers. Because I know as you go up in like popularity or subscribers or what, you don't think they were exceptionally large? Huh. I don't know. That's interesting. I'll have to look into it then because everything I've seen is said otherwise. But yeah. But also like what's it called? YouTube, you can stream 4K to YouTube, but I can't because I don't have enough subscribers. So I can't stream at that quality. So it caps out at 1080p. You've got 720p default on Twitch. Source is 1080. Yeah. Well, yes, source is 1080, and then whatever you're viewing it at is different. But yeah, the quality that you're viewing it at is dependent on your browser or your internet connection. You can tell it to go higher. It just you might run into buffering issues. And I wish I could rock out with you guys and like be playing the music I'm listening to. I don't know that everyone would appreciate it, or I know that not everyone would appreciate it, but like, man, Sabotage by the Beastie Boys just came on. That song just slaps so hard. And if by any chance there's someone who doesn't know Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, do yourself a favor and go listen to it. How's my Mike D impression? Non-existent. Non-existent. I'm not even going to attempt it. I know, I know. I'm no fun. Come on. I don't know what it would even be. I'll be honest. I I also get them confused. I'm so bad with names, so I get them confused. I don't know who's who. I don't even know which one died. Like, because I can't keep their names straight in my head. So, so yeah, it's. I don't know if you saw this, but when the movie Solo, the Han Solo movie came out, someone released a fan edit of the trailer. So that they had the trailer, which was whatever, but someone released a fan edit of the trailer, and they put it to Beastie Boys Sabotage. Oh my god, that trailer was so good that it got me to see the movie. Like the regular trailer didn't, but that one did because it was just so good. Phoebe, welcome. How are you doing? Just got back from the gym. How are you? Nice. I am doing all right. I wish I could make it to the gym. Or I should phrase that differently. I wish I made it a priority to make it to the gym. I think that's a little more accurate. I'm getting there though. I'm slowly getting back into it. Imagine doing a workout stream. Yeah, no shot. No shot. If I was in great shape, sure. Then I'd be like thirst trapping it, you know? If I get back into like really good shape like I used to be, sure, I'll do that. I was, it was when I was like at the best shape of my life, I wasn't cut, like I didn't have like a six pack or anything, but the feeling of it was huge, just totally different feeling. I don't know that I can even get back to that kind of shape, but maybe I can get close. I feel you. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We'll see. I need to make it a priority to get back into it. I can feel it, but been busy, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm super impressed with the people who do make it a priority. Because the thing is, when I was in like really good shape and I was going to the gym all the time, um, I didn't have much of a life, and it wasn't because of the gym. I just didn't happen to have much of a life. So working out was no problem. I had tons of time. Not only I should actually add to that. Not only did I not have a life, I also had like barely any work, barely anything. So I just had time. I don't know what that emote is. Yeah, kind of like looking at it, going, "What the heck is that thing?" Why did that get modded? And the auto mod's weird. Nodders, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why that got auto modded. Whatever. my settings are all borked. I don't. I've put so little effort into getting into into my mod settings and stuff like that. All right, quick break. Yeah, I really don't. I haven't worked much on my settings. I set it up a long time ago, and I haven't touched them since. I think I had to up the what's it called, like the auto mods, because at one point um I was getting some people coming in that that made me need it. We'll put it that way. At one point, so yeah. All right, time to stretch my back. You should all be able to still hear me though because of the mic. So yeah, that's good. Oh, my neck has been all messed up recently. Hmm. Oh yeah, you got a new mic. Sounds good. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying it out. I'll listen to the recording and see, if it needs some adjustments or whatever. But I do think one of the things is when I'm using the like actual mic, the stand mic, I think I have to project more for it. Like I have to, push my voice a little more. And I think that might be something that's really tiring me out after like 4 hours of doing that. Compared to this, I'm not talking, I'm not trying to be heard necessarily. I think this might be a lot better. The only major thing, oh, two major things, is one, I got to make sure to mute myself or take it off when I go to the bathroom. um, yeah, don't want that. Uh, and also, we'll see what it sounds like when Dresden tries to eat it when I pick him up to show him on stream. That little boy tries to put almost anything he can in his mouth. I once handed him, showed him a metal disc, Like I had like a, you know, it's just a round metal, disc. I show it to him, and he tries to bite it. It's like, you moron! Your teeth aren't strong enough for that. I think it's out of focus again. I hate that the focus kind of drifts over time. But if I put it into autofocus, it tries to track my hand all the time. Your cam's focus is locked? Yes. Well, no, it's manual. I just do manual focus. The problem is you can see the camera up there. Like, it shifts ever so slightly. So the, because when I move around, the floor moves a little. And so it's not perfect, But if I put it into autofocus, then it tries to it tries to track my hand and stuff. And it does have that thing where you can click on the place that you want it to track, but it's not perfect. It's sometimes manual and locked means the same thing, I'm pretty sure. Okay, fair enough. I'm not a camera expert. Yeah. So maybe a better mount is needed. No, the problem is you know, the problem is I'm on carpet. I think that's the major problem, honestly. Because even my easel moves just slightly if I move around. I think it's carpet. It gives it a little bit of the floor, just a little bit of cushion, and that cushion is what moves things around. Also, I'm a big guy, so when I step next to it, it all just kind of shifts a little. I'm sure if I was, you know, a 100 pounds, it probably wouldn't shift, but I'm not. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure my mount is pretty solid. My same with my tripod. The only thing is, the only other thing is, I think the angle is at such a steep angle. I think that also exacerbates the issue. hopefully it looks head on in the stream, but it is definitely not head on. Have I shown you what it looks like without the without all the what's it called? Distortion? It looks pretty good. Oh yeah. Good. If you want, I can show you guys what it looks like without the distortion on it. You don't know that I have? Okay. Yeah. Well, give me a second. I'll show you. Let me just get this. Long as it doesn't mess anything up. No, it shouldn't mess anything up. Shouldn't being the operative word, but yeah, no, it shouldn't. Because it's just a quick toggle. So let's see. We'll turn off this and we'll turn off that and that. Filters. There we go. This is what the camera is, only it's upside down. So I flip it and then I, distort it. So it goes from, it goes from that to that. And then I put a little thing here to cover up, and then the other stuff. There we go. Yeah. Wow, that's dramatic. Yeah. No, it's quite an extreme angle. Because I could. This is the best I could do as far as figuring out how to have the camera close, close to the painting. Try and get it, head on, and also not be in my way constantly, or me be in the way of the camera. Nice work making it viewer friendly. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, tried hard to get it. I tried, mounting the camera behind me. I tried all kinds of stuff. This is so far the best I've found. Like maybe I can do it better somehow, but so far, best one I've found, or the best I've been able to do. And anyone who's interested, I should throw this out there. Anyone who uses OBS and is interested on how to do that, there's a plugin called I think it's like 3D Effects or 3D Effects for free or something like that. Yeah. It lets you, warp and distort it all and everything. I mean, honestly, I think that should be like baked into OBS, but as long as there's a plugin that does it, whatever. Also, for anyone who streams and wants you know OBS uh related stuff, um, Epox Vox on YouTube has some of the best like tutorials and information about all of it. I recently saw this tutorial he had. I was tempted to do it. It's a way of making your camera look like it's a a floating like a floating display inside of a a screen, like inside of a mech unit type of thing, like on the heads up display type of. I don't know if I'm describing that right. uh it is really cool. I was like, oh, I'm tempted to do that for my stream. Do I need that for painting? No, but what's the name of the YouTuber for OBS stuff? Epoch Vox. So it's like EPAX, I think, or OX. Epoch Vox VOX. I think it's all one word. If you look him up, if you search him on YouTube and do like OBS tutorials, he'll come up. No, no, I think it's Epoch, like with an X. EPAX VOX. I think that's what it is. Found it, pretty sure. EPOSVOX. Yeah, that's probably it. He's got a retro look about a lot of his videos, and he's like got like curly hair and stuff. Yeah, he does a lot of like reviews for, you know, for mics, for cameras, for all that stuff. But he also has tutorials for OBS, and he has even has a course you can buy for OBS related stuff if you want to pay for it. And he gives a lot of it away for free, but I'm sure there's benefit to getting his course. I just haven't done that. Yeah, he recently had a video on how to like simulcast. That's the only reason I'm streaming to YouTube and Twitch right now is because he did that tutorial, and I was like, okay, I can follow this. Yep. You got a lurk. Please carry on. No worries. No worries. I really do think Mondays are just a slow day, which I understand. Like I'm not no complaints. I'm just stating. I think Mondays are slow days. I mean, and that's I mean, realistically, that's why I picked it as a stream day. It's kind of slow for me at work usually on Mondays. Um, most of my deadlines are generally towards the end of the week versus the beginning of the week. Sometimes, exceptions, but yeah. So it's a lot easier for me to, you know, fit the stream in on Monday night. Thursday night? No way. I can do Thursday night. No chance. Too many deadlines are on Friday. Can't take that chance, kind of thing. Like sometimes I can do it, but I can't. I do plan on doing like what's it called, surprise streams, and like just when I can stream. But yeah, I can't schedule it. I I am so I have a busy week this week. Um and I'm planning on streaming on Wednesday, but I'll be honest. I have an idea for a video that I kind of want to bang out um as soon as possible. And I might have to choose between streaming on Wednesday or making this video. And I'm not sure which one I should do. I feel like maybe the video would be better. But streaming consistency is important to me, so I'm really torn. Yeah, we'll see. I'll try and do it tomorrow if I can. I really want to get this done. This video because it's not a very important video or anything, but it is a time sensitive video. Time sensitive in the sense that it'll pop off a lot harder now than it will later. I know that this red in the like shadows in some of these shadows is not the most realistic color in the world to have in shadows. Um, but there are some film effects that kind of end up giving that kind of look. So it might not be accurate to real life. And it's definitely not accurate to this particular photo, but it is something that can kind of show up in the photograph. It's not perfect, obviously, but it's also artistic choice. So there is that. Yeah, there's that color grading of like what is it, blue and orange for film that a lot of people use. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. One thing I will say, there's a lot of plein air painters that do the purple shadows, like, and that obviously can be a style and can be a choice, but I feel like too often it is what's it called? People do it just because artists they like do it, and so it just kind of snowballs. Like everyone does it because everyone else does it, kind of thing. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what it seems like to me sometimes. There is some logic to it, though. It's worth mentioning. There is some logic to having purple shadows in plein air, and that's where a lot of this comes from. But it's not entirely real, obviously. But the reason is that the sky, uh, the what's it called? The light from the sun is warm, and then the diffused light from the sky is blue, so cool. And then you have a bunch of bounced shadows from a bounced light from everything around you or around whatever it is you're painting. So it can kind of look like warm. The shadows could look kind of like that, purple because it's like warm and cool at the same time, kind of thing. And also, things in the distance, the yellow, um, what's it called? The yellow, I don't know what the right word for it is, but it basically, in atmospheric perspective, disappears first. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. It's been a while since I reviewed this material. But I think it's the yellow that is the first to go, and then it's red, and then blues. So that's why some shadows will look kind of purplish because it's warm, but the yellow is no longer in there. So you have the red. Oh, and this is also another interesting thing, which I suspect is also a reason why people paint the shadows purple. Most people have, I cannot remember, I think it's three cones or three rods in their eye. I can't remember what it is. And those are the color receptors. If I'm and so we have a color receptor for that can see red, and we have a color receptor that can see blue. So, these are very generic terms. I'm not being super hyper specific, but that's my understanding. And because of that, you can see a color that is like bluish reddish. So you're basically seeing a color that has, that's stimulating two separate cones or rods or whatever they are. Can't remember. Jeez. And so something can look like it has both at the same time, but something can't be bluish. What is it? Bluish green. Because wait, is it? No, bluish yellowish. I think it is. Because we can't perceive. One of those is like on the same cone. I'm messing this up in the details, but basically that is covered under just one, and so it just looks like either it's greener or bluer, or more yellow or more blue. It doesn't look like it's both at the same time, unless you have 4 receptors, which is rare, but some people do. Pretty sure I've talked about this before on stream. I find it so fascinating. The idea that you could see more colors than you can see is interesting. I know I've talked about seeing ultraviolet light before, like that. Some people can see ultraviolet light after cataract surgery, and I'm so curious what that's like. I'm also so curious, like, how would you paint that? That's really what I'm curious. Like how? Well, not just. I'm curious what it looks like, and I'm curious, like, okay, so it looks like that. How do you paint that? I also saw this really cool video on the color magenta. I thought this was neat. So the color magenta is a figment of our imagination, according to this thing I saw. And I suspect the person's telling the truth, and it's all scientifically accurate. It could be wrong, but seemed pretty accurate. And the reason it is a figment of our brain is because, once again, it goes back to the like cones and rods in our eyes. We don't have one that can see magenta. We don't have a single one that can see it, but we can still see light. We just can't see the color. So our brain fills it in, based off of like the relation to the nearest colors, and that's why we see it that way. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was fascinating. And since I'm talking about all kinds of weird uh, color, you know, oddities or science or whatever it is, um, there is no color brown. Or rather, it's not that there's no color brown. Obviously, we see brown. There is no the reason there's no brown light. Like you can get red lights, you can get blue lights, green lights, yellow lights. There's no brown light, and that's because brown isn't really a color. It is just a dark, desaturated orange. And while we have names for like darker, desaturated versions of like blue or red, they're still considered in the same family. Like, no one thinks, indigo isn't a blue, right? Like, everyone thinks indigo is a type of blue. But brown, people don't consider brown to be, a dark orange. But, if you look at it, especially if you use computer graphics, like Photoshop or something, you can see it on the color wheel. It's very clear. You just go to orange, lower the saturation, lower the value, and it's brown. It's obvious. But, it's only obvious, I guess, if you notice it or think about it. Anyways, I think I've just maxed out on my useless color facts. Yeah. I say useless because they're interesting, but it doesn't really make any different tangible difference to anything. Although this is actually a useful, I think, color fact to know, which is if people are familiar with additive and subtractive color. So light is additive. So the more light colors you add together, the closer to white it gets. And subtractive or reductive is the more colors you add, the closer to black you get. That's why like your screen is RGB. So when you combine all of those, it's white. That's why. But paint is mostly reductive or subtractive. I can't remember if it's subtractive. I think it's but it's only mostly. It's not entirely. And because it's mostly, it acts it acts a lot like, it acts like you would think it does, but not 100% like you think it would, because there's also the bounced light, and though that light can be additive, so it's a mix of the two. The reason I think that's useful to know is, I think for painters, that's useful to know. And even if it doesn't like directly help you, it can at least put certain things into context that are useful. That's why some what's it called? Some paints seem to like, not, they seem to mix in a weird way that doesn't make sense. You mix them and they go way too dark, and it seems odd because the two colors aren't as dark, but you mix it and it gets darker. And sometimes it's the opposite. You mix two dark colors and it's slightly lighter or something. Or it ends up being more or less saturated than you expected. Stuff like that. That's where some of that comes from. Not all, because there's also chemical reactions potentially. Although not that common to have like straight up chemical reactions in paint. They're pretty what's it called? Stable. I am really curious how I'm going to handle the waves here. I do not like to like the waves are not the type of details I like to usually get into. So the question is, how can I, abstract the waves and make them, make it look like waves without actually painting in every wave. And or I guess maybe they're not waves, more like ripples. Um, and I don't want to go the Bob Ross route of like I don't know, I don't want to shit on Bob Ross. I think what he's done. I think it's great. People love him. He seemed like a decent guy. A lot of times, he seemed really sweet in a lot of ways. I love I love that he got people into painting, but his painting system is kind of I don't want to say formulaic because that's not entirely true, but it's this weird like faking it and it's not faking the painting. Like, I'm not trying to say that, but it's like, you're like, okay, you want to do a tree like this, you use this technique to do the tree and to like paint the tree. And there's an element of it where it doesn't incorporate all the nuances of the tree, even if you don't, because even if you don't paint the whole tree, like every single detail, a tree has volume to it. A tree has, different colors in it. It's not just, take the fan brush and like do this kind of marking and get a tree out of it. I know that's simplified, and I know, like I said, I know it's what he did. Like, it's his system, his whatever. It's fine. I get it. But, that's not what I want to do, basically. But it's the type of thing that would be, let's say, easier for the choppy water in the background. Like, if I had a technique like that and I knew, what to do, it would make it easier. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Still not what I'm going to do, but yeah. But yeah, I don't want to have to paint in every single wave and every single ripple. It's generally just not my style. Lena Danya on YouTube, she does stuff like that. I think she's trying to move away from that a little, but in her past videos, she has done that. Oh my God, her paintings, like every little ripple, just crazy. She's done a bunch of water ones too. That's why I mentioned hers. She's done a lot of water paintings, and it's just, yeah, all those little details. She's also done a few paintings, and I know she's not the only one who's done this, but she's done some paintings of like windows, or glass or mirrors with water droplets on it or rain on it or whatever. Oh my God, I can't imagine painting those. They're great. I like looking at them. I would never want to paint it, which I think is an important distinction for artists to make, because like there's a ton of things out there that I enjoy that I would never want to paint. I like looking at it, and I can definitely appreciate the skill and patience it takes to make them. Just not my interest. And I think that's something that, I think that's important for artists to figure out at some point, like what they enjoy painting. I know that sounds kind of simplistic, because like most people will gravitate to what they enjoy anyways. But a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people put that off or go into something else because of reasons, like all kinds of reasons. Sometimes it's financial reasons. Sometimes it's because, they were interested in it and now they're not, but they're stuck there. All kinds of reasons. I mean, for me personally, I was very much stuck in a different style at one point, because it was it was the style that like my brain naturally was inclined to do. Um, but it wasn't how I wanted to paint. It was how I like developed as an artist for numerous reasons, but it wasn't how I wanted to paint it. And so I had to work really, really hard to push myself like out of that style and move into where I currently am. And of course, I'm not done. I want to keep developing my skills and everything, like any good artist. But I'm a lot happier with where my style is now and where it's heading. But yeah, definitely not easy to change your style, but it is doable. I think everyone should know that. Because, there some people say like, oh, your style just kind of develops on its own. There's definitely some truth to that. However, it's not perfect because people develop their style over years as they are also often developing as a human being, as they're growing older, getting older. Because I mean, most people, not everyone, but most people who get into art start kind of young, even if it's not professionally. They have an interest in it. Most artists I know have been drawing since they were little kids. So you develop your style over time, and it's part of it is like what, the things that interest you, the things that you focus on, all of that stuff for sure. Are you detail oriented? Like, are are you very meticulous? All those things. But you as a person change in that time. Um, but you might not have the skills that you need to shift your style during that time. Also, some people can get trapped in their style because when you shift styles, when you work towards a different style, your um, your perceived skill goes down because you you have to go through the growing pains of making a bunch of bad paintings, or maybe not bad paintings, but a bunch of paintings that aren't as good as what you used to be making. And or paintings or drawings, doesn't matter, or sculptures, whatever. But yeah, in that time, you have to deal with that, and not everybody can, for whatever reason, either because they can't deal with the you know uh like the feeling of being worse or people perceiving them, or financially they can't deal with going through that, or they're in school and there's expectations of them, whatever it is. There's all kinds of reasons. But yeah, it's surprising how much people get kind of trapped in their style. And it's also worth mentioning that it's just, man, it's hard to like change your bad habits once you've developed them. Ooh, that's a tough one. And every artist has them. Every artist has bad habits. Some are easier than others to, you know, to get out of. But yeah, style being like, thinking of style as a habit versus your style, it kind of puts it in a different context of like how hard it is to change it. And the reason I say it's like a habit is because that's what, in a way, that's what style is. Not entirely. That's not, you know, that's not a perfect description of style. But it's the habit that you have a tendency of, focusing on one thing or another, or you have the tendency to, elongate the neck slightly or do a little twisty, twirly thing here or there, whatever it is. Like that's what your style is. It's kind of those habits, the way, but it's also how you view things. It's complicated like everything in art, but yeah. So yeah, all that to say is if you want to shift your style, you can. It's work, but it's doable. It's just you might not enjoy painting in the different styles. So it's worth you know paying attention to that, because last thing you want to do is develop a style that you don't enjoy. You don't enjoy painting or drawing. All right, I'm getting close to being done for the day. Unfortunately, not done with the painting, but whatever. This is after a long day of work. I am tired and slow. So, not as productive as I want to be, but whatever. So I'm going to be going soon. But before I do, one thought that I had in my head. I was talking to an artist friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about portfolio reviews. And I said, I've never officially done portfolio reviews. Like I've reviewed people's portfolios or, tried to give people some direction here and there when they ask for it or whatever, but I've never done like official portfolio reviews, like at a convention or something like that. And he was giving me some advice about it and was like, yeah, most of the time, like 90% of the time, these are the things, like that he sees. And he started like listing off some of the things. And it was so funny because he didn't mean it this way, and it doesn't really apply because there's nuance to everything. But it was so funny because a lot of what he was saying is like things I do on purpose, like I focus on. And so it was pretty funny because he's like, one of the big things is, that the, artists don't put enough contrast on things, and they don't, and they don't put a lot of enough color into things. And I'm like, oh, well, that sounds familiar. Hey, Kelly. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry if I missed your message. I can't tell when you wrote it, but I have two chats open, and YouTube chat has been very slow today, so I may have overlooked it. I do apologize if I did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But yeah, it was funny to hear him talk about, those things, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of do a lot of those things on purpose. Like, I make an effort to like, I have a bunch of paintings where, you know, the what's it called? I've compressed all the values very, very tight and stuff like that. Like, I know that's not what he means because it's a reference to people who often are trying to get like jobs in creative industries, which, yeah, in that case, you want to go probably higher contrast. And second, it's not a decision, it's a lack of skill that's getting them there. You know, the old adage about like knowing the rules before you break them kind of thing. I'm sure most artists have heard that line before, but that's the way I view it. It's not so much knowing that. I mean, obviously, it's knowing them, but it's making the choice versus not being able to see it or realize what you're doing. But yeah. And I know I'm not like, I feel so weird sometimes talking here because it's like, I know that so many of the people who are listening to me or who, follow me or whatever, I know a lot of people know this. I'm not telling people new stuff. So I feel weird kind of like, spouting all this stuff off. But I also don't know when someone's coming in who is very new. And also, if people aren't talking in chat, I have nothing to talk about. So I just start, saying whatever is in my head. Oh, there is a cat. I am giving everyone a heads up. There is a Winnie. There is a cat here, and I am going to try and get her on camera. She doesn't like being picked up though, so we'll see if I can pull it off. Hi, little girl. Yeah. All right. Hey, Skim. Cat incoming. Oh, little girl. Fluffy girl. This is Winnie. Short for winter. She is very sweet and kind of an asshole. And she doesn't entirely like being picked up. She likes the attention and she likes sleeping on me, but not being in my arms necessarily. I'm sorry, little girl. I'll give you more attention later. All right. I do think I'm going to be calling it a night tonight. Let's see. Can I see this message? No. Okay. Well, Kelly Denver, I'm really sorry I missed your message until now. I apologize. Winnie, if you don't want to be in my arms, there's nothing I can do right now. But yeah, I'll be streaming on Wednesday. Here we go. I'll be streaming Wednesday night and Sunday night. That's the schedule right now. But yeah, like I said, Kelly, I apologize. I feel really bad. I try and address everyone that comes in when they do. Yeah, the simulcast thing is throwing me a little, but we'll work on it. Anyways, I hope to see you here Wednesday, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'm not good at it. Whatever. Have a good night.